The Ghost King and the Science Team. Written by M. Tooth Emerald Tooth. Chapter 3. They only had Danny for an hour and a half, but if anything happened to him, they would overthrow the government. Summary. Danny confides in the science team. After introductions and show and tell concluded, Danny said, enraptured, as the art group regaled him with their tale, the near invasion of an external, or was it extra-dimensional, threat, and the ensuing cover-up, all caused by the careless government facility they all worked at. Gordon recounted the terrifying ordeal, while the others pitched in to correct or add their own 2 cents. Benry's involvement confused Danny immensely, considering the guy seemed like an antagonistic force throughout. Benry explained with something like guilt in his weird, monotone voice that his actions were due to a combination of his lack of understanding how humans worked and a backwards attempt at protecting the group he'd basically claimed as his own family. Danny didn't miss how Benry's gaze slid to Gordon's prosthetic as he spoke. Just hearing about the guy's power caused Danny to shudder. Sure, he could float and phase through solid objects too, but being able to return to life after being utterly destroyed, and able to grow to immense sizes and square shapes, that was horrifying. And according to Benry, that was just playtime apparently, to what he could really do if he wanted. Gordon explained it as playing live on God mode, which was utterly terrifying. Danny thanked the infinite realms that the guy actually cared about Earth and his humans, and didn't want to destroy the planet. It was a wonder that these people survived such an ordeal, honestly. They were scared and traumatized, for sure, but seemed very close as a result. For such a tight-knitted group, they seemed to accept Danny into their folds almost immediately. Honestly, Danny wasn't sure how to react to it. He should have probably been way more freaked out, all things considered. A group of strange adults took Danny away from his home to a second location unwillingly, which sounded like a headline just waiting to happen. And now he's particularly cuddling with one of them on the couch. Speaking of, Benry's energy resonance was making Danny incredibly sleepy. His ghost instincts were telling him he was safe with the entity, and that he should rest and regain the strength he lost from the summons. Not to mention that he'd had no more than 5 collective hours of sleep the past week. He was unable to hold back a huge yawn, but didn't care enough to be embarrassed about it. Whoa there. Put away those sharp choppers, little dude. It's not bedtime. Benry, it's like 4 in the morning. Time isn't real, Freeman. You got me there. Danny listened to the 2 bigger with a tired smile. They sounded like an old married couple. The whole odd troupe were silly and made Danny laugh plenty throughout their retelling of their adventures. Despite the bleak and terrifying parts, they apparently also robbed a series of banks after Black Mesa, which was pretty awesome. Out of all the people on Earth, Danny was glad that these lunatics were the ones who summoned him. Hey kiddo, Danny! Danny cracked open his eyes to see Gordon crouch in front of him, looking concerned. You look really comfy there, but we should really see about getting you home, Gordon said quietly. Then he couldn't help but feel a jolt of panic at the thought of leaving and never seeing these people again. They understood him, and he felt safe around them. No other adult in Danny's life could boast the same. Well, Mr. Lancer came close, but he didn't know Danny's secret. These guys took one look at him and accepted him into their weird little family despite his otherness. Gordon must have noticed how Danny's unconsciously clung closer to Benry because his face softened and gave a little smile. Hey, no need to worry. We will keep in touch. We promised to burn a certain secret government agency to the ground, remember? Welcome to the science team. You will never be rid of us. Gordon leaned closer and whispered, Trust me, I've tried. Hey! Came Bobby's indignant shout. Gordon smiled at Danny's tired giggle and shouted back, You know I love you, Professor. Doctor! Anyway, Gordon said loudly, ignoring Bobby's angry grumbling. How about this? We try to call your guardians and see about getting you home. I don't feel right just letting you go off on your own to fly all the way to Illinois. Not with how tucked out you look. In the meantime, you can make yourself at home. Gordon smiled softly and took in how close the kid was, pressed against Benry's side. Looks like you already have anyway. Danny wasn't awake enough to be fully embarrassed about nearly falling asleep on a particular stranger, and instead buried his face into Benry's shoulder and mumbled, "My guardians won't notice I'm gone. Can't I just stay with you guys for the night? I will fly home tomorrow." Gordon frowned, brows furrowed, and shot a look at Tommy. The older scientist looked just as concerned, and spoke up from the floor. "Danny, why wouldn't your guardians notice you're gone?" Tommy asked, gently. Danny groaned and reluctantly pulled his face away from the soft hoodie he had it smushed into. He just wanted to sleep, not explain his life situation to people who might actually care about how messed up it was. "They are just really unobservant," he said carefully. "Besides, I have a track record of disappearing randomly. You know, the white ghosts. Not that they know that. I think they have given up on me." Danny didn't know why he said that. Mom and Dad don't know about this whole half-ghost thing, and I want to keep it that way. So I don't mind all that much. That was a lie. They're ghost hunters. My parents, I mean. They built a portal that turned me into this, but they don't know about that because at first I thought they'd be angry about me messing with the invention. But then the ghosts started showing up, and they talked about how much they wanted to tear ghosts apart to see how they tick. Why was he telling them all this? They talked about how ghosts are evil and don't have a consciousness or feel pain, and that's why they were justified in wanting to capture and dissect them. I don't want them to know about me, because if they already given up on raising me properly, does that mean that they won't care that I'm their son if they do capture me? Then he was met with silence, as his words tempered off. But he felt like he could dump all of his worries on these people he literally just met. He had no idea. Actually, he did know. He was so tired of keeping it all inside. His friends knew already, but they were just kids like him, just as out of their depths. He couldn't confide in Vlad, because that would just give him a convenient excuse to go after his family again, and that's not what Danny wanted. What did he want? He just wanted someone to listen. He wanted someone who could take the burden from his shoulders just for a little while. He wanted a trusted adult to reassure him that everything would be okay, that he had support and backup if ever he needed it. Then he felt that maybe he found it in this wonderful, odd group of people who were just as strange as he was. "Damn!" Bobby broke the silence suddenly. Then he barked a laugh at the blunt reaction, and that seemed to spur the others into motion. He found himself suddenly smothered by a soft hoodie as Benry clutched him to his chest. Luckily, Danny didn't need to breathe in ghost form, so he was completely content to be smothered. "We're keeping him, right? That's what we're gonna do, 'cause I'm keeping him." The chest he was being pressed to rumbled. "Benry, as much as I want to help the kid, there are laws about things like this. We can't just kidnap Danny and call it a day," Gordon explained, though he sounded reluctant. "I'm with Benry on this," came Bobby's voice. "We've already technically kidnapped him. Fuck the law. We can just keep the kid." "No, Bobby dear, Gordon is right," piped Coomer. "There are laws in place prohibiting the removal of a child from their guardian's care without due process, which is why we should overthrow the government first, and then we can keep Danny." The four of them developed into bickering for a few moments before Tommy spoke up. "Hub, what if we just asked Danny?" He had to raise his voice above the others, but they dutifully quieted and listened to the scientist. We can't just make decisions for him. He's right here, and we're talking about him like he's not. It's rude. Danny's skin prickled with the gazes of 5 pairs of eyes, and he reluctantly extracted himself from Benry's hold, muchly into his vocal displeasure. He looked at each person in turn, fighting the urge to turn invisible under their concerned expression. He'd already let himself be vulnerable around them, about his parents. Why did he have to make a decision about this situation? Gordon noticed Danny's apprehension, softened his features and sighed. Tommy's right. Sorry, Dano. We shouldn't have talked over you like that. We will drop the issue if you promise to keep in touch and let us know if you're ever in trouble. Gordon's expression was painfully earnest. We will help you get home, but if you ever need us, we will come for you, kiddo. Just give us the word. Oh, fuck. Danny was going to fucking cry before he could burst into tears because these weird fucking strangers were so goddamn nice. There came a knock at the door. Blessed distraction. Tommy hopped to his feet, a perplexed look on his face. Who could be here at 4:30 in the morning? He wondered out loud, ambling towards the foyer with Sunkiss at his heels. Benry perked up from his seat next to Danny, caning his head over the back of the couch towards where Tommy had walked off to. Yo, there's another one of you, he drawled. What? Danny squawked before scrambling to his knees on the couch so he could peek over the back. They all heard Tommy's slightly panicked voice float in from the hallway leading to the front door. Mister, you can't just— Hey! Danny's heart sank just as a wisp of frigid air left his lungs. Oh no. Now, the problem is that I'm having is that, the last chapter of this fanfiction is missing. It's not there. And I don't know what to do about that. It said there are 4 chapters, but there are only 3, so, well, I know what to do about it. I can't do the 4th chapter if there is no 4th chapter. But, yeah, that's the story for now. Would be cool if it was finished, but it's not. But, yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked, my content and all that, feel free to subscribe. Have a nice rest of your time or day or whatever time. Yeah. I just stop talking. Bye!